good things happen for a reason, and while Justice was highly thought of by everybody in the NBA, for some reason he ended up in Miami. Now, if we had projected him to be number 10, we were locked in on him, and so he ended up falling to us in, I think, a very blessed way, and I mean that sincerely. So we are so excited about the possibility of having him with our team for his entire career, and so I'm not going to further continue this talk by me, and I just want to introduce Justice, and you guys can, it's open for questions to talk to him.
Raise your hand if you have questions, please. Wait for the microphone.
I guess it's both for Eric and Justice. I know we talked to you about this in your press tour the other day, but Eric, you get versatility, which is all you wanted to talk about, and positionless and all that. Right now, to you, what is Justice? What would you like to conjure up for him? And then, Justice, when Eric's done telling you what you are, can you just talk about your versatility a little?
Well, obviously we like players that can play multiple positions, do multiple things. But more important than that, it's the winning quality, coming from a winning program, showing an ability to win, even at a young age. I think you can tell a lot about a player during times in the tournament when you're down. And there were some tough moments. We were just actually talking about it upstairs. You never know you're going to win until you win. But there were some times of doubt, particularly the game against Wisconsin, and then all of a sudden it changes, and winning players rise in those occasions. And you can't quantify that with an analytic or a statistic. Just when you see it, you know it, and you want to have those kind of players on your team. And I think Justice has proved that at a young age, in a remarkable way, to have that kind of poise in big moments and find different ways to help his team win. I think that's the most important thing. Now, the versatility, being able to play multiple positions, being a Swiss Army knife, it's no secret I like players like that. We have plenty of time to figure that part out. It's tougher to find the it quality in players, and that's why we were so excited to be able to get Justice at the 10th pick.
Justice, your thoughts on your versatility?
Well, I definitely think I'm a very versatile player, and it kind of just comes from high school. I didn't play with a lot of McDonald's All-Americans. I played with talented guys, but no Tyus Joneses or Jaleel Okafors, and so I had to learn to do a lot on the court. And so that's basically, where my versatility came from. So I just like to be a well-rounded player, and I think, I showed that at Duke, and I'm excited just to get better at all areas of my game.
Justice, Tim Reynolds of the AP in Miami. First off, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm just sort of curious what the last 3 days have been like for you, just in terms of imagining what it might be like down here. I mean, I think most people probably realize this. The team last season wasn't really a 37-win team. Dwayne missed 20 games with hamstrings. We all know what happened with Chris. There's obviously a lot of talent. If it stays somewhat together, there's going to be a lot of talent to play with next year. How much have you thought about that? How much have you thought about role? And how good of a situation do you think you kind of walked into here?
Well, just since draft night, I just been trying to soak it all in, live in the moment, and being able to talk to Coach and Coach Bowen about the organization. And I was just really excited to get down here. I know it's a winning organization, an organization that wants to win right now. So that's what I'm most excited about. My whole life I've won, I've been a winner, and so just to be part of an organization that's constantly focused on that and wants to do that and prepares every day to win championships, that's what I'm most happy for. That's why. When I did get selected at number 10 to the Heat, I was so happy. And, I've just been kind of just dreaming about what it would feel like to be here, since Thursday night. And, now that I'm here, I'm really excited just to be a Heat.
Mike Wallace, ESPN.com. Justice, the comparisons have sort of been all over the board for you. I've heard everything from Caron Butler to Paul Pierce to Draymond Green, young Dwayne Wade. I'm just curious, what do you think about those sort of comparisons, and who have you patterned your ability after?
To be honest, I don't really listen to the comparisons unless, sitting during a media or an interview. I just try to play my game. I watch film on different guys, try to pull things, different things, different details different guys do. But for me, it's about being myself because that's what's gotten me here. So, of course, I'm going to watch film, other guys try to get better, but it's about me being me, me playing my game and going out there and performing.
Justice Joe Goodman with the Miami Herald. Mike Krzyzewski has talked a lot about how you play older than you actually are at this point. What did you do last summer to prepare you for your first year of school, working out wise? You're larger than most 19-year-olds.
Well, for me, it started in high school, the whole, maturing process. And part of it was being a freshman, playing on the varsity team with my brother who was a senior. I had no time, to be a kid. I had to mature. And so because of the role I had on that team, I wasn't just a freshman on the bench. I was playing a lot of minutes. So I had to mature and start understanding the game, picking up the game faster, learning plays. And so I feel like that's where, my basketball IQ came from. And just, working out with different trainers, Coach Lucas, one of the first guys down in Houston that I started lifting weights with. So that's where kind of that foundation of strength, came from. But, basically I've been working hard all my life and, different people have planted different seeds that have, helped me grow and mature. And so I'm thankful for that.
Justice Jason Jackson, Miami Heat Television. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Coach Spoelstra talks a lot about not having a ceiling for yourself, as it pertains to your performance and skill. And Coach K talked about you already exuding this desire to be great. What have you already at 19 discovered about the difference between good and great?
A lot of it is about, the work you put in. If you want to be the greatest, you got to, put, that quality of work in. So me, it's about, staying in late, getting in early, watching on a film, taking criticism, not taking it personally, taking it and trying to learn from it. So there's a lot of good players out there, but the great ones are the ones that you remember, the ones that, have the jerseys hanging up. We were just, talking about that just now. So you want to be, one of those players that really transcend the game and, transcend the culture of basketball. So it's a lot of work to put in. A lot of it comes, from yourself, but you're going to need people around you. Luckily I have my family, my friends that have helped me get here and different coaches. And so now I'm, here with the Heat, and I'm sure they're going to expect nothing but greatness from me, and that's what, I hope to produce.
Eric or Pat or Justice or whatever, are you going to be playing Summer League? And if so, can Eric, you talk about what the goals might be for Justice in Summer League?
Yes, he is playing Summer League. And the goals are just to get out there, get to know our system. We get to know him for 3 days of double-day practices, not much rest in between, and then 2 Summer Leagues. It's a great jump start, introduction to how we do things, what's important to us. So we can't wait to get started. I know he's chomping at the bit to get started, and that'll be Wednesday at 10.
Coach K sort of talk to you about this transition? I mean, you're going from obviously a dynasty, a winning organization in college, to one that's been winning pretty regularly here in the pros. What has he told you about that transition in terms of expectations?
Well, just first off, ever since I declared, Coach K has been very supportive and helpful through the whole process. But just the whole time, he didn't help me with the transition, help me get, whatever information I need. But he told me that it's going to be a tough transition, especially since I'm so young. But it's like that for a lot of guys. But, being 19 years old, playing with guys that are old veterans in their 30s, it's going to be tough. But, I accept the challenge. It's going to be a transition. It's going to be a process. So he's just been telling me stay with it and just be true to yourself.
Justice, Pat spoke the other day about how you can defend 1 through 4. NBA power forwards are really big and really strong. Do you feel that the next step for you is weight training and things like that? Or have you the thought that you'd rather retain your agility so you can also guard the 1s and 2s?
I think my best interest is trying to become, the best basketball player that the Miami Heat, can need or use. And so whether that's guarding someone bigger or guarding someone smaller, that's what I'm going to do. Right now I'm just focused on, getting to know everyone, around the facility and trying to remember everyone's name. And then, we can move on to strength and agility training. But right now, just trying to, get used to the Miami Heat lifestyle.
Justice, could you take me back to last season in the NCAA tournament? And how did your versatility develop throughout the season, and then in the NCAA tournament, how did that kind of crystallize in leading your team to the national championship?
Well, I had a very good season, I would say. Started very well, then hit a valley, didn't play so well in January, and started playing better in February. And then going to March, we had a young team. We had 8 guys, 4 freshmen, 4 older guys, and so 4 of us didn't know what to expect in the tournament. 4 people did, but even then, a lot of guys, they lost to Lehigh, lost to Mercer, and so it was a very unique combination of experience on the team. And so going in, we were just trying to win games. I know the 4 freshmen, we were hungry. We were trying to get it done right then and now. We didn't know who would be back next year, so for us, about living that moment and making the most of the opportunity. And so going out there, I just played my game. Coach had me playing a lot of different positions, guarding a lot of different people, and so I enjoyed it. As long as I'm on the floor, I'm going to produce, and that's just kind of my motto, the way I think about it. And so I was out there on the floor. I tried to make the most of it, try to make different plays, winning plays, and ultimately we got the job done.
Pat, you've now acquired and now drafted a series of players from Duke. We all know how great the program is. But is there a specific thing about a guy that's played at Duke that has always been appealing to you?
I'm a Kentucky Wildcat, first of all. Yeah, so same qualities, probably. I think, obviously Mike and what he does at Duke and his whole career, as a basketball coach, and the number of, great players that have come out of his program and on into the NBA, and the fact that he's won, the NCAA championship, a number of times. Coach talked about this a minute ago, and we call it it. It can't be defined. You don't see it. And it's an intrinsic, I think it's an intrinsic inner quality that players have, and that is something that helps self-motivate them. I don't know Justise as I've just met him, talked to him the other night, but I think that's what we're talking about. That's what he has. He has that it quality, that intrinsic motivation, that desire, that grit to go and do whatever he has to do to win. And I think that's what's compelling. And so that's what I would say. That's what I saw on film. That's what we read in all the reports. Obviously, at that time, we were really concentrating on other people, but we were not doing our homework on this guy. We were just drooling at the fact that, he's not going to come to us, and so I'm just happy he's here, and I'm sure that quality that he showed at Duke, just in 1 year, by the way, and it wasn't a coincidence that, as things got tougher for his team, he became greater. And in just a very short sample size, he's going from, a major program, championship program, to the NBA. And I think from that standpoint, he's not going to miss a beat when it comes to the intrinsic motivation.
Justise AJ Speaks. Spo, I'm going to ask you the question first, the same one Jason asked him about Duke players. I know you love Blue Devils, but from the ones you've had and the ones you have now, is there anything that you can take in your relationship with Coach K and apply to Justise and realize how you can make this work for both of you?
Well, I thought Pat was going to mention it, that really the Duke connection is Nick. So if it's ever 50-50.
Back in the back.
Yeah, if it's 50-50, we're going with the Duke guy. But this was 99-1, so this was an easy one. But it's the winning program. It's those winning qualities. So much of this game is the intangibles, and Coach K has developed an incredible program there of sustainable winning. That's not just X's and O's strategy. It's developing players that want to sacrifice and play for something more than themselves. For a young player, again, to show those qualities at 19, when really this generation right now is a me generation. and you're thinking about how I can impact. Well, basketball is a team game, and when you show we qualities at a young age, that's very unique. And for us, it's easy to see because that stands out. That's much different. It's easier to be a me than it is to be a we. But again, the maturity that he's shown at 18, 19 years old, I just know we didn't talk like this when we were this age. We were not this mature. I can speak for myself. So he's shown a great maturity on the basketball court, but a maturity to really understand what winning's about, sacrifice, and being a good teammate, and then rising in the toughest occasions. I mentioned that again. I always think you can really learn a lot about a player when they're down and it's not going their way. Then you start to see your inner character, and that's when he was at his best. Is those times of adversity. But Coach K has really built a program that emphasizes the same type of standards and core values that we do.
Justice, that leads me right to my next question. You mentioned your January where the season got a little rough at the beginning of ACC. That moment of adversity, other games like the UVA game, you guys bounced back. What did you learn from those moments, and how do you try to apply it now?
Well, just from the injuries and those tough times, transfers, guys being dismissed, just mentally learn how to fight through that adversity. I learned a lot about myself and just mentally how I needed to approach the game, how I need to focus, everything from getting the proper amount of treatment in the training room to really understand the game plan, the scouting report inside and out. And so just from those times, it was nothing that we lacked skill or we lacked talent. It was just a lot of, mentally learning how we needed to approach the game and how we need to all be in tune and ready to play.
How much tougher, or maybe even easier, is it to, or has it been to sort of evaluate a 19-year-old coming into the league? I mean, you've been in this position before 8 years ago, 19-year-old guy coming in. How much more difficult is it to sort of project what these guys can be at such a young age?
I mean, 18-year-old, 19-year-old players that are now going to come into the NBA. Everybody knows that I like experience, but you also can sense when you watch them play on the court, there are 19-year-old players and there are 19-year-old players, and I get the feeling that he plays like a grown man, that he's got the same maturity as some of the other players that had an opportunity to coach that were young when they came in. And so, but I think he's unique from that standpoint. And, we're going to find out. We can talk and praise him right now, and everybody knows how good Justice is. But, when it comes to eyeball out on the court, that's when his maturity is going to come out because he's a competitor. And that's what's going to raise the hair on the back of my neck and Mickey's neck and Nick's neck and Eric's neck is that's what we're all looking for. And so, he's just beginning. And this summer league is just going to get him involved with what it is we do. But come October, when training camp is what it's about, I think he's going to show why he's beyond his years.
Justice, I assume not too long ago, you just drive around Texas going to AAU games and high school games, and you have 2 rows of support people here. And for those of us that either have kids in sports or were supported by parents in sports, could you just talk a little bit about how it is now to sit there at the ultimate dream when probably 2-3 years ago you're riding in a car or hopping in a bus or going on a plane with these folks thinking about those dreams?
Yeah, like you said, it's been a crazy couple of years. This day a year ago, I was going to my first day of summer school at Duke. And I just remember, moving in with the guys, and my mom took a picture of the 4 of us, and we were all just baby face, no facial hair, none of that. And so even the year before that, I'm going to AAU games, like you said, Team USA with those guys. But it's been a crazy process. And like I said, I didn't do it by myself. So thank you to my family, my friends, coaches, everybody. Even Rock Nation, who I only known for about 2 months now. And so it's great to have, your support crew here with you, along the whole way. And so I'm just very blessed. The people I've met, the people that have helped me get here. But the job's not done yet. You know, my high school coach always tells me, you know, it's just the beginning. You know, he told me that the other night when we got drafted. So it's been a great ride, and I'm sure, you know, these people are more than excited to, you know, continue the ride and hopefully, you know, get to the top.
Justice, Duke guys always have eyeballs on them because they're Duke guys, and you know how that works. And on draft night, there was talk that teams were throwing around as many as like 4 first-rounders to try to move up to have a shot at you, or whatever the case was. Given all that, how much pressure are you feeling right now? I mean, there's pressure. I mean, there's going to be eyeballs on you anyway, just being a first-rounder. But do you kind of embrace that pressure? Do you feel it? Do you use it as fuel? Are you the kind of guy who just blocks it out? How do you process all that?
Well, I've had pressure on me my whole life. So it's nothing that's new to me, nothing I can't handle. And so, to be honest, I'm just accustomed to the pressure. I sort of think I thrive under pressure, you know, in March and in the tournament. I think I played very well. But to me, it's pressure is whatever you put on yourself. You know, there's going to be people talking. You can choose to listen. You can choose to do whatever you want with the information. But pressure is what you put on yourself. So I have high expectations for myself, but they're all realistic. And so I just try to be the best player I can be, try to live up to my expectations. And at the end of the day, that's, all I can do.